shoot that bitch! I'm sorry.
I got appearances to you tonight. You spit all over me. What the heck you do?
Oh my gosh.
You got my spoken word tonight?
Wait, you see Art tonight? At his spoken word thing, trying to be all earthy.
The Laugh Factory.
Why don't you change your shirt? Why don't you wear one of the Wendy Williams Experience t-shirts? Isn't that how you do it for them? They're all size mediums with the pink.
You know what? That's a good idea.
And look, it'll be like a belly shirt. It'll show. What do you call that area, that V that goes down?
The invitation line.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
That's a funny name, but it's funny when you say it, everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
If you're either thin enough or fit enough, then you have an invitation line. Do you all know what that is? Without women like that, you got to have all kinds of people in the world. And they, and I do respect her hustle, because at the end of the day, she was stupid enough to think these guys were actually going to take her out of poverty, when in actuality, they did exactly what people do to the... But she's turned it around. She's got a book deal and now a movie deal, and so great. Anyway, but they were listening, and they ended up calling my booker, Elisa Payne, and saying, Elisa, this girl that Wendy's talking about, how do we get in contact with her people? We're interested in a book. Do you think she'd be interested in a book deal? They actually asked Elisa. And so Elisa was like, oh, yes, as long as she's going to tell it all. And so from what I understand, the parameters of the Superheads book was that, look, no matter what you say in your book, you got to turn it around like this is what you tell young girls not to do. So that was the book labels thing, At the end of the day, make sure you end it positively.
Yes.
You don't want to lead this life. Here you go, Zoe.
Thank you, Miss Wendy.
You're welcome. Isn't she cute? I don't know why she calls me Miss Wendy. She's just adorable. She is. And she pokes her lip out.
She says, Mr. Chuck, chill out.
What?
She says, Mr. Chuck. She calls everybody.
She calls everybody Mr.?
Mr. Chuck, chill out.
Wait, do you call Chuck Chill Out Mr. Chuck Chill Out or Mr. Chill Out?
The whole name.
Yeah, Mr. Chuck Chill Out.
That's such a cornball. It's very funny. Oh my gosh, now I'm freezing. Can we please turn up the heat? Oh, the water just splattered all over everything. You saw I was getting my guzzle on. Oh, it's freezing. All right, so Star Jones.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Salacious Life radio show with Dr. Wren. I am Dr. Wren. Thank you for joining me tonight. We are going to talk about a subject that has come to me by popular demand. Most of you missed Chianti in conversations, but a select few made it to the conclave. So we are going to talk about the 5 F's to give. Now, I am notorious for not giving a fuck about anything. I give less than 0 fucks. However, there are 5 fucks I give, and only when they're dealing in a relationship. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So we are going to begin, and I'm going to go from order of importance, in my opinion, to least importance. So I'm going to go with the first one. The first F I think you should give in a relationship is family. You have to agree with your partner. There needs to be a sit down. You need to discuss your children. You need to discuss your future. You need to discuss your in-laws, because they are no walk in the park. Mother-in-laws do not get along with the new bride. So these are all things you need to discuss well before it happens. Children, that's a big one. Most of us, especially, people, Gen X people, are in their 30s now. We got kids, and if we're dating somebody, we're parents first. So we got to talk about that. I'm sorry, people are looking at me. No, the one thing that concerns a lot of people is, what's it like dating with children? I mean, I got a kid, I know what it's like. You got to be a parent first. You can't go out, this person is this person is that. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's best to make sure that these things are discussed. I personally don't date guys that don't have children because, it's important to understand what it means when I say, dude, I can't make it because the baby's sick, or this dude got this to go to or that to go to, or I got a parent-teacher conference that night, so no happy hour for me. Like whatever that means. Like, yeah, we can do lunch because, he's at school during the day, but we might not be able to do dinner. Like, sorry, I know that movie you wanted to see just came out on Friday, but we're going to miss it. No opening nights for us, So these are all the things that I think, really need to go first when it comes to dating people with children. So family is something you definitely need to discuss. I also date guys with children. So, when do you introduce, your kids to your new partner? Like, how do you decide? I'm a package deal. So I kind of think, I feel you out. If I see us building something, you got to meet the dude. If I don't, then you don't meet the dude. We ain't even going through that. I do think, however, it's important because, like, that's a deal breaker. If a woman or a man doesn't get along with your kids, why y'all fucking? Like, what's the point? Like, there's no point in the relationship at all. I mean, I had a client that called me the other day, and he says to me, my daughter doesn't like my girl. Can you talk to my daughter? Because I do a lot of lifestyle counseling and things like that. And I was like, but your daughter isn't the problem. Your daughter is not the one that has the problem. Your girl is new on the scene. And you have to realize that she has to make the adjustments for the child, not the other way around. Like, yes, your happiness is important, just as important as your child's happiness. But it's your child. They didn't choose to be here. You chose to meet.
Now, with that being said, let me ask this question. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
With that being said, let me ask you this. At what age does it stop being you cater around the child? Is there an age for that?
I think...
Because after a certain point, your kid kind of understands life enough that, maybe not saying leave your kid at home and go out type stuff, but when you're in an established relationship and your child is older and they still can't get along, when does it become a thing where you need to talk to your kid and not your partner?
I would say when your child is like a preteen, teenage type kid, like at that point, 12, 13, 14 years old, where they're starting to think about their own puppy love, I think that's the point where you stop catering to your child. Like, I think your child is still important and your child should still, be factored in. I don't think you should just brush a kid off and their feelings, to the side. However, I do think that, a teenager, they going through hormones. They all hot and stinky, hair growing in places it didn't grow before. Yeah, it's time that they understand a little bit better, So I think if you have, let's say, a 5th grader and under, you kind of got to cater to your kid because they don't understand. And in their mind, the only two people who should be together is mommy and daddy, But a teenager, they get it. They're going to be selfish. They're going to be spoiled because that's a teenager. But I don't think that, you should completely revolve your life around your teen or your preteen. Because like you said, yes, they can stay home alone. In the state of Maryland, I think well, you got to be 8 years and 9 months or something crazy to stay home alone. I would suggest that, you know, children definitely need to have a sit down. You need to have a candid conversation with them. They can understand the English language. You say, you know, look, Becky, I'm dating Rob. Rob is a nice guy because of A, B, C, D, and E. I would like you to give Rob a chance. Now, you may not, Becky, may not give Rob that chance. Give Becky the opportunity to voice her opinion. You know, you just never know. She might see something you don't see. But you should take your teen's feelings and thoughts into consideration. But I do not think by any stretch of the imagination that you should only cater to, you know, your children and don't think about the relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I guess we'll move on. I think we've covered family. The next big one, I think, is friendship. There's two sides of friendship. There's the friendship in the relationship, and there are your friends. You know, back in the day, the Roots said, you know, your squad is all in your relationship. You know, like, all right, this is my take on friendship. When it comes to the person you're dating, you know, I think you should have a friendship. You should be able to kick it with that person. You should be able to rap to that person all day, laugh. Y'all should be able to comfortably enjoy each other's company in complete silence. You shouldn't have to necessarily be interacting with each other. And I really do think that friendship is really, really important. I think that, you know, you should be able to wake up in the morning, be throwing pillows at each other or running around because let's say he or she does something to piss you off. You know, they left the toilet seat up, you know, the proverbial toilet seat, you know, or, you know, the women, I don't know, didn't wash the dishes. I don't know. Something pissed you off. You should be able to laugh your way out of that argument. You know, you should be able to fall back on your relationship because a relationship is just like anything else. It's a business partnership. You know, you got to work at it. It doesn't come easy. So you don't want to be sitting there mad, angry all the time, you know. I think on the flip side of that, you got your friends, like your homegirls, your homeboys. You know, you got your homeboys checking for your lady. You got your girls, she mad because she ain't got nobody, so she hating on your relationship. We've all gone through that at least once in our lives, you know, where somebody hating on the relationship. Somebody getting too up close and personal with the person you're dealing with. They want, you know, that person's cell phone number so they can be friends with them and they can talk to them, or, you know, they on social media rapping to them through DM, and we know it all goes down in the DM, you know. And then all of a sudden, you got this rift in your friendship because of your man or your woman, you know. That ain't gonna work. Like, that's some BS right there. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep your friends in check. And now we'll be back after the break.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Are you getting your kids this hoverboard thing that's taken over the country? They range from $300 to $600. They're blowing up. And then I mean literally blowing up. That one video, I thought that was going to be the one and only video that I saw in reference to it, and it wasn't. I seen Now I could probably tell you about 10 to 15 videos of this happening where this battery gets super, super hot and burns like holes into your tennis shoes.
Oh my.
And I know you would be pissed if you was wearing Jordans and you just paid all that money, you know, your lights are off. And
especially if they're from China.
Your lights off.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And we have a full house tonight. My co-host Leslie Swirl and Miss Lasha G, y'all already know.
Hey.
Tony Bling, y'all already know. But I have with me Mr. Paul Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
And my brother, Mr. Kevin Little here.
Well, all right.
So I'm quite sure this is going to be a hot topic. I'm very excited about today's show. And I'm also excited because for the first time, the men outnumber the women.
That is true. Wow, I didn't even notice that.
Finally. That took some... Was this... This is the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute, maybe I messed up. Finally, the men outnumber the women. And I really wanted that. More so for all of the shows for the month, but definitely for this show. And then we got our producer and our engineer, so we got a lot of testosterone in here today. We might gotta pull it up, but that's all right because we strong. We strong
with a C.
With a strong. Yes.
Strong.
I mean, how you pronounce it?
Strong.
There you go. So last week's topic was media, our fathers in mainstream media and their disappearing act, basically, or the minimizing of our fathers in mainstream media. And I'm not sure if we ever got the resolution.
We're going to finish up friendship, and then we're going to move on to the third F, because as I said before, by popular demand, most people miss Chianti in conversation, so everybody wanted a quick recap, and since I had this medium, I thought I would go ahead and do that. So we were talking about our friends in our relationship. So I was saying that, you got to keep your friends in check. You have to make sure that they understand that there's boundaries between how they can interact with your significant other and how they interact with you. They could be your best friend. I mean, y'all been through it, up and down, 20 years. Still, there is a boundary to, what they did. I definitely think that I've had a few friends try to cross that line, and I've lost friends, or people that I called friends over relationships, because the line gets drawn. What if y'all split? There's the line. Which side are you going to step on? We go back 20 years, but you real cool with my, with my dude. What you going to do? These are things that you really should, take into consideration when introducing your new mate or your significant other to your circle. Even if you think they're going to fit right on in. Now, we're going to talk about a topic that's not quite so fun. Nobody wants to think about it, but it's really, really important. The third F in the 5 F's to give is finance. Look, nobody wants a broke nigga, and no man wants to be a sponsor. He does not want a dependent. If he wanted a dependent, he'd have children. Nobody wants to take care of somebody else 100%. It's always a give and take. Even if this person is bringing in 90% of the income, they do not want to be carrying the full weight of everything. It's going to cost you something. So if this man is paying all your bills, you doing something for that money. If this girl is carrying you, just know she on the next train smoking because she is not going to sit there and deal with a broke dude. Like, these days, things cost too much money. I mean, cars are expensive, homes are expensive, rent costs money, food costs money. And these days, it takes a 2-income household to live any sort of, reasonably good life, if it's 2 people at least. And most of us, like I said before, got children. So everybody needs to contribute to the house. I preach this. I live by this. Everybody needs to contribute to the house. The man, the woman, if it's 2 men, 2 women, the children, everybody needs to contribute to the house. I mean, them kids don't need to be just sitting up there playing video games. They need to do something to be helping out, if they not, getting out there like we used to do when we was kids. We cut grass, we carry groceries. These kids don't do that these days, but at least they need to contribute to the house. They need to be taking out the trash. They need to be washing the dishes, sweeping the steps, whatever that means. They need to be doing it, Finance is very, very important. Finances could make or break a relationship. Women, we do not need to go on $400, $500 dates to have a good time. I'm telling you that now. I've had some of the best dates in my life, and they cost nothing but the gas money to get there. People need to find, that's why friendship is so important. When you can kick it with that person, it does not matter what you're doing and how much money you're spending. You could be just walking down the street, and it would be the best walk you've ever taken in your entire life. And it don't matter if you got them Louis Vuittons on and you got blisters all over your feet. You will not want to stop walking. And that's just what it is. People spend so much money trying to impress each other. For what? Because at the end of the day, sex is not... Look, you can get that ass without spending that kind of money. If you are creative, you put some thought into it, that's it. That's all you got to do. Like, I want you to, the guys who, impressed me the most are the ones who stimulate my mind. They'll do something that I wouldn't have thought of myself right offhand. Like, I like goobers. That's my shit. I love chocolate covered peanuts. That is my favorite candy in the whole world. They cost $1 at Five Below. If I came home to some damn goobers sitting right there on the table, oh, we talking about an all-nighter right there, because I'd be so impressed about them damn goobers. I'm just saying, can we be creative? I got my homegirls, my homegirls, I know damn well they will go for a creative man over a man who just going to spend $1 million on them. Now, if you got a chick, if you a dude and you got a chick and all she want is a bunch of things, a bunch of money, she not with it unless you spending money. She putting on a chastity belt. If you didn't just take her to Capitol Grill, you need a new woman. And that's what that is. Women, we really have to do better. Because these guys, they out here, they working hard, especially black men. They out here taking one for the team every damn day. We got to learn to support the men in our lives better, Like, I know we work, we take care of the kids, we cook, most of us, So, what's his favorite meal? Pinterest got all kinds of recipes. Ladies, can we do a little something, something? Or, I know every single person in here got Uber Eats or Eat24 or Grubhub or something. Order something, bring it home, take it out to carry out, put it on the daggone plate, put a candle in the middle, have a conversation, drink some wine, speaking of wine, eat some food, and for real, like, enjoy yourself. Because it's honestly all that, it's all that. Well, I definitely think that people got my point when it came to finances. Have that conversation. Sit down at the table. Decide what y'all going to spend, what y'all not going to spend. Enough said. Going to the break.
Check out what you Mist on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, oh gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from what is now becoming mainstream as white privilege. She has a sensibility about her, and the way she speaks about different things that has, from the first time I saw her, I can't remember what state she's in. I think she's in like North Carolina or something like that, somewhere I'm not going. That some kind of sensibility about her that makes me like her for president. But she's not running. We have this old guy that looks like he should be on the popcorn box. Then we have Martin O'Malley. Fine. We'll settle if we must. Hillary, who I like, but she just has to fight against all this controversy, and that's the hard part of it all. Then we have Huckabee. I could have swore he died, like in one of those books, like a fairy tale book. Trump, we're gonna get to you in a moment. Meet with all these black folk in one room, and they just fell for it. Like, he must have been giving out $100 bills behind it.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
And we're back. Salacious Life with Dr. Wren. We are talking about the 5 F's to give tonight in a relationship. We have gone through family. We have gone through friendships. We have gone through finances. So let's get to the fun part of the relationships. The 2 F's that make the relationship fun. The first one is food. Food can make or break a relationship. Let me tell you, you have got to eat. We all love to eat. Some people are more conscious of their diets than others. Some people want you to fry that chicken. Look, learn your partner's diet, because that is something you need to share. I cannot deal with people who try to cook things that I just won't eat. Like, yeah, I'm from the South, and yeah, I love certain things, but there are things I don't eat. So I don't want to deal with somebody who is trying to feed me hog maws or take me down and get some gizzards from Lexington Market. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't need it. So thank you. Now, with that being said, I think that it's important that you share a palate somewhere. I think you should share a palate somewhere, because, like, I love red wine. It's my thing. You know, I will drink red wine at least a few swallows just about every day. You know, it's my thing. Other people have their thing, you know. You got people who come home, they gotta have their nightcap, you know, got to have their Henny or their Jack or whatever, you know. That's part of it, you know. I like eating food, but I like eating relatively healthy food, but a lot of it. I like a lot of flavor. I like a lot of spice. You know, I'm East African. It could be solid fire, and I'm with it. Now, your significant other may not be able to handle that fire, so you have to understand their palate. I can't come in there with my, you know, with my food and say, hey, babe, have some of this, knowing that his ass gonna be on fire in the morning. Like, that ain't fair. That ain't fair. You know, just like he can't come in there with a BLT and think I'm gonna eat that pork, because I don't. You know, it ain't nothing wrong with pork. It's just not for me. You know, everybody got their thing. I really think that the best thing to do is have a conversation. That's why all these topics came up in Chianti conversations. We got a glass of wine, we sat down, and we discussed what the do's and don'ts of relationships look like, how they sound, what they should be. I think having a candid conversation early on in a relationship is important. You know, that first date, y'all probably going to go get something to eat. So that's a great time to converse about, what do you like? You know?
In my opinion, that should be the first date. It should be a social interaction without nothing outside stimuli. Like, no movies for the first date, no arcade and none of that. Like, go someplace, sit down and talk to each other. Because sometimes, you know, the movie or the video games or whatever could distract you from the fact is that that's an asshole right there.
I agree. Like, I love lunch. I think lunch is a good thing because it takes the pressure off of impressing the other person. You can sit down and you can have a conversation. You can talk about dinner, like the next time you're going to go out. You can build up to it. You can extend, you know, the invite. Say, hey, you ever been to such and such? They serve whatever. You know, is that a type of food you like? And you're right. Arcades and movies and skating and whatever, they can all be big distractions. You know, you're right. Sit down. Have a quiet conversation. Don't go somewhere loud. Don't go to a bar. Don't go to
some place where you know you're going to see somebody you know.
That's a great point. Mastermind, that's brilliant. Don't go somewhere where you know someone, because they're going to influence or somehow impact your date. You know, you walk somewhere, homeboy, homegirl walk up, hey, how you doing? Oh my God, it's Dr. Wren.
It's not even, excuse me. I'm just saying, you know how some people be having friendships where they, you know, if you don't know these two people and you see them greet each other, you be like, hold up. You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely. And I'm sure we all have those friendships where the hug might last, you know, 4 Mississippis, you know. They might.
A leg might come
A
up.
leg might wrap around, you know. Somebody might squeeze an ass or pop somebody on the ass. We all have those crazy ass relationships. Like, don't go somewhere where you know someone. Like, I always say, try to stay 15 miles away from your home base, wherever your home base is. You know, try to go out, be 15 miles away from wherever you're used to being at. Try something new with the new person, you know, somewhere where neither one of you have ever been. You're both experiencing it for the first time. You know, you either both hate it or you can both love it. That can be your spot. So as the relationship grows, it will always be your spot, that special place just for you and him, or he and she, or he and he, or whoever. We don't discriminate on salacious life because we all live a salacious life. But I definitely agree that finding an intimate, quiet corner with something absolutely delicious where you can suck on things and lick on things and enjoy the conversation as you know, have delectable, you know, fare. I always think it's a good thing. Memories. you know, always takes you back. You know, you always got those, you know, first dates that take you back. But food is always definitely important. I'm a big fan of, like, dinner and a movie, but not going out to dinner in a movie, but finding, like, you know, cuddling up on somebody's sofa, you know, ordering a movie, or, you know, watching a movie or whatever, ordering takeout. And I mean, these days you can get anything delivered. I mean, anything. I've had Korean delivered. I had jerk chicken delivered not too long ago. Like, you can get anything delivered. And that way, you're not taken away from the travel. Like, now you have the date. You're sitting there, you're talking, y'all both waiting for the food. Y'all can talk about the delivery guy. Like, yeah, I ain't temping this person. They done took over 30 minutes. You know, they need to learn how to get here on time. Oh, they didn't come to the door. You know, like, these are all things you can talk about. Don't laugh, because you know it's true. You be waiting for that person, and you sit there thinking to yourself, like, you working off your tip. You had $5. Now you down to $3. You know, like, you keep playing, you gonna be down to $1 if you get that $1. You know, but I'm definitely a takeout person. Like, I'd rather us just can focus on each other, let the food come to us, let the movie come to us, or have the conversation somewhere where we're comfortable, where you don't have to try to dress a certain way or impress someone a certain way. You can just, you know, let it chill. And that's also an inexpensive way to date without, you know, people feeling like any one person is taken advantage of. Now, what do you think about going Dutch, Mastermind? What's your thoughts on that?
Dutch is like you pay for your own troubles, right?
Like everybody pay for their own.
I'm cool with that. Because, you know, me personally, I think for like the first few, unless I straight up offer, like, yo, let me take you out, you know. But if I make a suggestion for us to go someplace like, hey, I'm getting ready to shoot over X, Y, and Z, you should meet me over there, you know, then I'm not paying for your food. I mean, and then on top of that, I think you should never let, because, you know, that could low-key influence your opinion of someone.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Because you may order something, and what you may think is expensive, the other person may think is cheap, and vice versa. And the worst thing to do is to go out and have somebody just go ham ordering, and you gotta tell them, like, yo, like, what is you doing?
Like, I ain't made like that.
Like, I appreciate the sentiment, you thinking I got it like that, but nah. Who wants to have that conversation? You should not do that to the other person.
That's an awkward conversation.
It is.
That's awkward as fuck.
So I think that, you know, like, the first few, you either go Dutch or let it be an invite. You know, like, let it be implied that I'm taking you to dinner.
Absolutely. And, you know, I get invited to dinner and in lunches and such, and I always come prepared to carry myself. You know, like, I never assume that this person had planned on carrying me. You know, honestly speaking, sometimes, depending on how the conversation go, you impress me enough, and I'll pick up the check. You know, like, hold up, dude, you a cool dude. Let me grab this one. You know, so, but I definitely think it might be a good idea to consider going Dutch, ladies, every so often. At least offer or pay the tip, or.
And you know what else? Dutch. When you go Dutch, that keeps the guy from thinking he get ready to hit you. You know, have sex with you, however you want to call it.
Yeah, no, I got it.
You know what I mean?
Right, he ain't get ready to get some if you pay for your own check.
If you keep paying for you to eat, after a while he gonna be like, man, you kicking that out. Like, what's up? I'm not gonna keep feeding you and sending you home with an empty stomach. I mean, with a full stomach. You know what I'm saying?
And you still full. You
exactly. Like, that's real. People
That's
try
real.
like they don't be thinking like that, but they do. Girls think like that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do all kinds. We have all kinds of schemes, and I talk to my homegirls, and they ooh, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to wear that, because he going to give me something tonight. It's my birthday. I need birthday sex, you know, all those types of things. So you're absolutely right. Girls be scheming just as much as guys do.
But I'm just saying, though, like, ladies, I'm going to tell you this from a man's perspective. If you don't know for a fact if you want to cross that line, avoid having him spend any of his money. I mean, it sounds petty or whatever, but it's real. Sense. Because the more and more a man invests his money, and not even so much the time, because a lot of the times dudes really enjoy the company just as much as women do. But when a dude starts spending his money, that's when he starts to expect things. Mm-hmm. But when you avoid him spending his own money, the only thing he expects is a conversation.
And the conversation is key. The conversation is key. I like, even in a relationship, I like to balance the food aspect. Like, I like to cook, so I'll cook all the time. You know, when I go out with people, you know, I like to pick up the check, especially if it's a guy that, you know, is nice, whatever. I'll pick up the check, you know, as much as I can. But I definitely agree. Now, some men, and I don't know if you agree with this, there's men who have snatched the check out my hand. There are men who catch an attitude if a woman even looks at it. So it's like always this delicate balancing act, trying to figure out, can I pay?
Communication is key. That's when you say, hey, you know what I mean? I'd like to pay for my half, or I'd like to pay for my food, or however you talk. You know what I'm saying? But communication is key. Some men take that offensive because then that kind of implies that he can't take care of it. You know what I mean? That he can't take care of you in those ways or whatever. Right? It's okay. Those are those few. That's when you be like, hey, you know, like.
I mean, I guess if you say something like, hey, you know, I'm having a great time. You know, you've been so kind. You know, can I put something to that? I mean, would that work without offending someone?
Nah. Like, dudes who get offended by that, honestly, in the back of their brain, you just got like 3 stars because it was like, Shorty was getting ready to grab that check. Let me stop her. But I know that one time if I decide to be like, hey, you got me, she gonna have me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not an honest offense. That's a mask. Really, he don't want to stand there and be smiling like you just gonna go pay that check, huh, baby? You know what you doing, you know?
Right.
But he gonna be like, no, I got this. I'm the man. In real life, he like, good. At least I know. I can be like, hey, you taking me to dinner?
Absolutely. And I offer, like, if I say, like, let's say I called you and I'm like, Mastermind, let's go to dinner tonight. I already have it in my head. I'm picking up the check. You know, like, you may offer or whatever, but if I invite you out, or if I say, I want to go out tonight, I'm expecting to foot the bill because you're doing me as you're being my company. I'm not asking you to come out of pocket for that, you know. And I do offer often to take people out. You know, there are people who I've dated in the past, and you know, the only time they let me pick up the check was for their birthdays. But I was ready to do it. I'm begging. I'm trying to beat the waitress to the table so that I can get the check and pay it before it gets there. You know, I definitely think it's important to at least offer, you know. And that goes both ways, you know. If I say, Mastermind, let's go to dinner, you can at least offer. I'll probably say no, but you could at least offer. I guess we'll move on. We'll move on from food. So, actually, you know what? We'll go on break, and we'll go to the last F, everybody's favorite F, after the break.
everybody. Check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. Our topic tonight is Spirit of Thanksgiving. And I have in the studio with me my husband, Titus James. Woo!
Titus. Hello. Titus James. Titus.
We up here.
This man.
We like off the chain because we not, it's right before. Like I say, it's right before a holiday. Nobody, when you at work,
stressing.
Everybody's thinking about that plate they're gonna get and their take home plate.
Right now, people are mapping out their the logistics of like the houses that you go to, because there are some houses that you go to for breakfast in the morning.
Right.
That's just me.
Right.
And then there are houses that you go to early. Like Brandy Mom, she likes to get you in there early, so that's like 3 o'clock.
That's early.
Yeah, that's early.
But some people,
that's
Nah, her aunt and uncle, they have Thanksgiving at 12 noon.
So getting brunch.
Yes.
It's full dinner. It ain't brunch. It's macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
Do they go out after
12 noon.
Do they go out after?
Sometimes, nope.
Oh, they want you to leave?
No, they sit there, they eat, they like
talk.
Play games, talk. That's it.
Well, I guess it's better than having it at night because then it's late. And,
you be sleepy all day. Because you sitting there, you eating all day.
And then the game come on.
In Virginia, they start early in the morning with waffles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the waffles don't start all the way straight through dinner. They still making waffles, frying fish all day long.
Laugh that loud.
But then there's everything else in there too, turkey and all that the regular stuff. But they frying fish and making waffles all day long.
They never stop making
it's like fish, waffles, it's fried potatoes, all kinds of stuff.
What
all
happened
day
to the
long.
rest of the Thanksgiving food?
That's what I'm saying. No, all of that is
That's there.
But the special part about it is that everybody's coming because they want to either a piece of fish
or
they want a waffle.
Oh, okay.
So you be there all day long. You eat your waffle, your fish, and then you go and sit down somewhere and you play games and stuff. And then you come back later on if you want another waffle. You got the iron's hot.
They just keep it going.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Salacious Life with Dr. Wren here on BeExposedRadio.com. I'm just getting prepared for the last F. My favorite F. Your favorite F. We all know what that F is. Fucking sex is important in a relationship. It is one of the most important parts of a relationship. I think it's important enough for it to gain its own F. That is definitely an F I give. So we're going to talk about sex and how the art of sex has been lost. And we're going to talk about how people have gotten so used to just getting it that they've lost the idea of what it means to, date and romance and court. Courting is gone. The art of courting is gone. You know why? Because we don't have groups like Jodeci and Jagged Edge saying, "Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so smart."
It's not even.
I think
we
so.
Don't have the groups. You know what it is? It's just that I guess I don't know what did it or whatever, but whatever happened to the women when you show Ernst or like if a guy walks up to you and says, "Hi, my name is John. I think you are so pretty. Would you mind going out on a date with me?" He will get laughed at.
I disagree.
Huh?
I disagree.
Look,
I would think that'd be flattering.
Look, out of 10 times, he will get one woman who will actually be genuinely flattered and respond accordingly. A lot of the times they'll get the nose turned up and laughed at later, or if you already broken that barrier with women and you two are on a familiar level, they'll call it thirsty when he's trying to show his interest.
True. I think also because men have stopped courting, women have started to become way more aggressive and way more about getting laid than they used to be. You know, women would meet guys and they want to, you know, spend time with him and, you know, that kind of thing, build up to the sex. All that has gone away. Now, I'm not saying build up to the sex like Steve Harvey build up to the sex. It ain't gotta be no 90 days or nothing like that. I think you should definitely play this one on a case-by-case basis, because I'm sure there's been plenty of girls that went out with a guy and fucked him that night, and they had a long, meaningful relationship afterwards. He called her the next day. Shit, he might have even got up and made breakfast, you know? So, but then there's guys that you got to feel out, because sex is mental. Sex is completely mental. Guys, y'all got to learn how to mentally stimulate a woman. Because, and women too, but let me get to the guys first. Guys, saying stuff like, yeah, you sexy as shit, you got a fat ass, that is not going to impress a woman, and that is going to make her cross those legs even tighter, because all she thinks you're thinking about is fucking. And that could be the case, because initially when you meet someone, the first thing you should have is some sort of physical attraction. You know, something that you saw about them that just blew you away. Me, I got a thing with smiles and unique looks, you know. I like hands and different individual features. I don't technically look at a guy in a whole. But would it take me from looking at you and calling you is mental stimulation. If I can't have a conversation with you, it's dead. It's dead in the water. You know, right there. Like, the best thing is to have a conversation. Men, you can drop those panties quicker than quick with the right words. Ladies, same thing. Men want women who they can chill with, they can talk to, that'll back them up, and they want women that can, you know, deep throat and reverse cowgirl and everything else. You know, they want all that full package. So ladies, let's try to be the full package, you know? Like, I know a lot of women who walk around, you know, very stuck up, pillow princess types, you know, oh, I'm gonna lay there, he's going to, you know, all that, rub on me, kiss on me, this and that, and I might let him stick the tip in, you know. Ladies, really? I'm saying, I know a 69 can be distracting, you know, when y'all both try to feel and perform at the same time, it can be distracting, but you can, like, break that apart, whereas y'all take turns pleasing each other. Like, a big part of sex is foreplay, and foreplay does not start in the bedroom. Foreplay starts the day you meet, because everything from conversations about life to conversations about sex to things that are y'all like to listen to sexting and those late night conversations to whatever, riding in the car, all that is foreplay, you know. Ladies, if you don't know how to state trooper, learn, because one, you want to do it properly when you do, because you don't want to lose your life. If you don't know what state troopering is, ask me in the feed. But I definitely think that foreplay comes from both sides. You've got to both want it. You've got to both interact. You have to make each other hot. And it starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. You start visualizing what this person is going to feel like. You start using all 5 senses. One of the reasons why I love sex is because it's the only act that I can think of that you use all 5 senses at the same damn time. And what Scorpio doesn't love that? Because you start smelling people and you hear their voice. You know, you feel their breath. You know, you touch their skin. You taste what they taste like. Are they salty? Are they sweet? Girl, if he's a vegetarian, go on and swallow. It's what you do. You gotta turn this man on. I'm just saying. You know, guys, you did not already have your dinner, or she needs to be your dessert. Go ahead and lick on and suck on every single part of her. Make her feel like she is the most beautiful woman you have ever met in your entire life, whether you believe it or not. Because once you get to the intercourse part of sex, it's going down. You know, it's going down. And guys, put a little bit more emphasis on the foreplay. If you know you might be lacking, you know, girls, if you ain't got no skills, you know, make sure you know, incorporate something. You know, learn the pineapple technique. Do something, you know, to make this work for you. Haha, don't look at me all crazy. Why are you looking at me like that? But I think it's important. You know, I think you should be spontaneous with it. You know, this isn't the olden days where, you know, mom and pop sat on 2 different sides of the, you know, slept in 2 different beds. But I gotta take a break. So we'll be back. Don't look at me all crazy.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. Now here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I'm saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And you know, we don't want to say, we don't know all the details behind what happened. No, the fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. You know, they deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial, to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
So we're gonna get a little bit into the album with Miss Amira and learn the basis of it, the Banji soul of it all. Yes. So let us know, first of all, what is Banji soul?
Banji soul is basically just real. It's real soul. It's real. It's not cut down. It's not watered down. It's, how as hot as it came off of my mind and my heart, that's what it is. And a lot of the times I get a little tangy, tangy, bangy, ratchet, whatever, however you like to put it, classify it. But I like to say bangy, because I'm classy.
Bangy is a little classier.
It's a little classier. That's got your pinky up. Right. You got your pinky up with that.
Okay, we got to keep the bees, the bougie, the bougie.
I'm back. So, we're on Salacious Life Radio and BeExposedRadio.com, and we are talking about the last F, fucking. We discussed foreplay and guys not being stingy and girls not being pillow princesses, because I swear, I don't know, you tell me. I think men don't like women who just lay there. Even if they want to dominate.
No man anywhere likes a woman that just lay there unless he likes them dead.
They into necrophilia.
Yeah. No man wants her to just lay there. Nobody likes that.
Nobody likes
it. Not even when it's a quickie. When it's a quickie, you should move even more.
Right. You got to really be into it because y'all got to meet.
I gotta go. Gotta happen.
I got 5 minutes.
Right. Nah, no man nowhere in the world likes a chick that just lay there, no matter what position she's in. Unless she's in a completely, a position where she is incapacitated. If her hips can move, she better be moving them.
So, the only men that like pillow princesses are the ones that serve up roofie coladas, or they're into necrophilia, or, he done got you so high or so inebriated.
Like predators.
Right, they're predators. Like, they need to be on that show.
Predators. I don't care. Predators. No man nowhere likes a girl to just lay there. If he like her to just lay there, you're a predator. Okay.
Yo, something wrong with that.
You mad at me for saying
I don't understand women who just lay there. Like, don't they get into it? I get excited.
And if she's just laying there, you're not hitting on
You're not doing it right.
You can't be. Because there's no way that you could be in there and doing what you're supposed to be doing, and she just be sitting there looking at you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-mm.
No. I feel like... What he said? I only caught the tail end of that. But I definitely agree. Like, he should be hitting it to the point where you are digging in, like, you are grabbing the sheets.
Woman... Just like no woman wants a man to just hump on her. Like that rabbit kind of, nobody likes
No, please
that.
don't. No. Not unless we on that, I got 5 minutes.
Even
let's get in the exact right rabbit. Position.
It's not even a complete rabbit.
That's not a complete rabbit.
Nah, the real rabbit just
like
right up against you. That nobody likes that.
No, I'm not a fan. Let's go low and slow, But I don't think women like men like that either. Like, there are men who just lay there and hands behind their bed like Iron Man, he is king, handle that shit. Now, I'm not
everybody
saying
feel like that once in a blue moon.
And once in a blue moon, I say a good once or twice a month. Go ahead and do that man shit. No, second round, you can do that man shit. If you banged it out like that first round, second round, lay there and feel proud of yourself. Women, handle that business. Show him how much you care. Let him know what he did, No, absolutely. I definitely think women need to interact. I think men need to interact. Sex, unless, you pleasing yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. But even then, you want to interact with yourself. Like, it's a 2-person job. Whether, it's you and yourself, or it's Becky and Rob, or whatever. It's a 2-person job, you know, because, you know, it's going to be Scott and his left hand. That's 2 different people. What? You know I'm right. I heard that I was actually talking to one of my male friends, one of my closest friends earlier today, and he was talking about he liked to jerk off with a condom on because it felt more realistic to having sex than jerking off barehanded. And he used his non-dominant hand.
He was a professional masturbator.
He's a professional masturbator. And I thought to myself,
he was having a real sexual experience
with himself.
That is the real. He was.
He thought about it. He probably had to convince himself to give himself some ass.
Listen, he has planned that out. That has been tried experimentation until he found the perfect way.
I'm listening.
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Oh, that's
his perfect way.
That's his perfect way.
I'm going to use my non-dominant hand, and I'm going to throw this rubber on there, and ching ching.
Or is it more like toot toot?
I hate you.
Whatever, you know I'm your favorite. But yeah,
so funny.
I'm just saying, you know. So whether you're having sex with yourself or with a significant other or with the person you met earlier that day, make sure you excite that person or yourself. Maybe put a little effort into it like homeboy do with the other hand in the rubber, you know, toot toot, you know, but something. Ladies, make sure you show your appreciation because men need to know what they're doing. And there are men who don't do it well but still deserve a hand clap. They can't get the round of applause. They're not getting the standing ovation, but they can get the hand clap because that means they at least started somewhere. I don't think the first few times you have sex with a person is going to be great anyway because you haven't learned that person. You don't know what that person likes.
Unless you just get lucky.
And that person likes what you do.
And that person likes your OG game. Like your default settings. If your default settings is winning the game. You know what I mean? Sometimes.
Look. Sometimes, on rare occasion,
your default
settings is exactly what they want. We all get cell phones, right? We got a brand new cell phone. It comes with your default setting. Every so often, that interface is exactly how you want it.
You never got a phone, and as soon as you turned it on, it was like, damn, the home screen got everything I need on it. Same thing.
Right. Well, there's your home. There's your boy. Default settings. So we've got self-pleaser, we've got default settings, and then we've got the mind blower, right? The guy who takes his time and progressively becomes the master. Before you know it, he's got that glow. You like, what the hell happened? We had sex three days ago. It wasn't nothing like that. Now, God damn, I'm puppying. My legs shaking. I'm scratching the walls.
It's two things that happen when this, you know, when people have sex. When you have sex the first time, it's 2 ways you know what kind of person you're dealing with. The next time you have sex, if it's way better, they were paying attention when you was having sex. If it's exactly the same, then you didn't let them know they wasn't doing good enough.
Or they're a selfish lover.
And that's also
which is a problem.
Yeah.
Which is a problem. You can't be a selfish lover. You can't have a selfish lover.
Nope.
It's always the person's responsibility to please the other person. Does that make any sense? Like, guys, your objective is to make her orgasm many times. Many, many times. Ladies, your objective is to take him through every emotion, and at the end of it, he volcanoes. He should come so hard, it damn near blows you across the room.
But that is true. The more aroused the man is, the more comes out. So ladies, take that into consideration. If it was only a little bit,
you ain't do your job.
You wasn't on it. Because it don't matter. It does not matter. He could have had sex earlier that day. But if you're doing what you're supposed to do, hold up.
So I wonder if self-pleaser has a better ejaculation because he's using the non-dominant hand and the rubber.
Nope.
No.
He doesn't. It's all in his head. It's all in his head.
Mental stimulation, though.
Yeah, it's all in his head.
Because
nothing can compare. There's nothing that you can do for yourself because you're feeling yourself. It's that external, somebody else doing it, and you don't have all, because all your senses are still,
right.
All of your nerves are still connected, unless his non-dominant hand is numb.
Maybe he wears a glove.
Maybe you do the stranger, they sit on the hand till it's numb and then do it.
No.
See that in the movie, they was talking about the different techniques. And the dude was like, I like a little stranger. He was like, what's that? He was like, you sit on your hand till it gets numb, and then you rub one out.
Because you can't feel it.
But yeah.
I wonder if that works both ways. I wonder when girls masturbate, would it be more arousing if she couldn't feel herself?
It's just because then it would be an external stimuli instead of an internal. Not saying that it's.
That's probably why women
body,
like toys more than they just rub one out.
Because there's still that level of touching yourself. It's just like you can't bite through your own skin. It's the same principle in my head. It's just like,
it's like the same.
It's not the same. It'll never be the same. If you figure out a way.
But I guess in hard times, drastic measures are appropriate. So sitting on your hand, wearing the condom.
Whatever you gotta do to make it work.
To make it work.
But it'll never, ever compare.
To the real thing.
To the real thing. Or should I say just not being you.
Not being you.
You know what I mean? Like all of the apparatuses and all of that.
What about the
stuff.
porn? Does that help a guy feel like he's out of his head? Like he's now that person in the porn?
Sometimes. It's just, it fluctuates. It depends on the guy himself. Every man is completely and utterly different. The only thing that all men have in common is we all want to come.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Gotta come.
That's it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, there's a whole bunch of variations depending on the guy himself.
There's definitely variations. I had clients talk to me about, how do I say this? Milking?
Oh, wow.
Stimulating the prostate. Like milking the prostate. Eating
what
ass.
What movie was that? A Road Trip?
Huh?
On Road Trip. You never seen that movie Road Trip? Stifler. He used to like that. The guy who played Stifler was in it. And she greased up her finger.
Stimulated prostate.
Mm-hmm. When he went into the clinic to try to give sperm, and he asked the nurse for help, so she milked his prostate.
It works. I've been told by the clients that I have that it's an amazing It's just what I've been told. I can't say one way. I'm not a guy. I don't have a prostate. I can just say what I've been told. You don't know.
Nope.
Yeah. Most men have a mental block with anal play in general, unless they're giving it. Like, you know. And then I know plenty of guys who won't even go there. Like,
nope.
Everybody's ass is off limits. So, yeah, I don't know about that. Like, so I was told that the way to do it is to give the guy head from the back. Like, so pull his dick through his legs, give him head from the back while you stimulate the prostate.
Oh, wow.
It's supposed to be this amazing,
that
mind-blowing cum.
That sounds uncomfortable.
I thought so too. Like, I couldn't even figure out how to. Like, I'm ambidextrous and I can't figure out how to use both hands like that at the same time. Like, it's all the same area, and then you got balls in the way. Okay. Well.
You see me turn around and look at you like,
well, I guess if you're hung like a mule, then it works. Gooching is another thing that a lot of guys like.
What is that?
Gooching is when the woman licks the area, like that little landing strip right behind the balls before you get to the ass.
The grundle.
Whatever. Everybody got their own name for it. I swear I heard like 8 names for it.
People call it the grundle, the taint.
The taint, right. I heard the taint, the gooch, like
the
all
gooch,
that.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, so, you know, the gooch. In the South we call it gooching. So, you know, you start with the head, normal head. Oh, yeah, la, 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 lick, lick, lick. Then you make your way to the balls. Ladies, slow down when you get to the balls. You can't suck the balls as hard as you suck the dick. Slow it on down. All right. Then you make your way under that. So you cup the balls, apparently, and then you go underneath. What do you think?
I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure about that? Is it still too close to the asshole?
Look, not a fan of any of that area being bothered.
Any of what area?
You know, the whole by the gooch and the bunghole area. Like,
yeah. No booty hole. No. But I'm not saying she gonna push your legs back so she can get
the I'm gonna kick you. As soon as I feel a hand go up under my legs, like to hook them to make my knees bend, as soon as I get that motion by a woman, I'm immediately getting strong. There's no more. No, we're not doing this.
No, none of that. All right.
Michael Jackson. It's dead.
It's dead.
It's dead.
I could just see somebody. All I could see was somebody getting like horse kicked in the face and flying across the damn room. Ladies, you might get your nose broke. Have the conversation with your partner first.
Slow. You gotta go slow.
Go real slow so he has a chance to react. So you know.
He'll let you know ahead of time. Because
you're getting close.
He'll catch you.
You're getting close.
You're gonna feel that little hand touch your forehead.
Like,
Or he gonna hold it back in your neck and pull your head off to the side. He's gonna move you. Don't force your way back. That's hilarious.
This is all useful information. I hope you guys are taking notes. Because we ain't even really talked about fucking, like actual intercourse. Because, I mean, there's 15 million positions, and there is no limit to where you have sex. I mean, there's outdoor sex, indoor sex. Indoor, you got every room in the house, you got the floor. Outside, you got the yard, you got tables, you got up against a tree,
that might
in the grass.
Depending on
what happened.
You know, everywhere you gotta have a proper positioning.
Well, everything has its proper position. Like, if you've ever had sex on a beach, you don't want to have it missionary style. that has to be a doggy style type situation, because that sand get mixed up in the stroke and we are all fucked up.
Oh my God. Sandy Gooch.
Sandy Gooch, Sandy Cooch. It's all fucked up.
That is so funny.
Let's see. Wait, you got me. I can't fuck with you. But I mean, outside could be in the car or on the car. Even better. In public, in the shopping center, in the middle of the day. You know, it's sundress season, right? You know how y'all like to slide the dress.
Whole Foods parking lot.
Whole Foods parking lot. See? I think the last client I talked to was a fan of the Walmart parking lots because they're so expansive. And what he said he liked to do was park so that if somebody glanced, they knew what he was doing, but not so obvious that people would stop. Do you know what I mean? That's what my one client said. He likes the possibility of being caught, you know, the excitement of it all. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool. He and I had a nice conversation about that because he said the problem was the hood of the car gets too hot to bend a girl over on. And I was like, so there's the trunk, but depending on how you park, like, you can't back into the parking space, but you can't be out in the street. The hood of the car gives you more surface space. I don't know. Yeah. Let's take a break on that note, since we talking about the hot-ass hood of the car.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
How did you know that this is what you wanted to do as far as being a singer or entertainer?
It's always been in me. It's always been a part of who I am since a child. Since a child, I've always gotten karaoke boxes, and I've always learned this song and solos in school and all of those things. And I met my Reflections actually in high school, and you know we were singing back then, choral music.
Douglas High School.
Yes, quack, come on through here. You know, so
2 G's in a day pass.
Okay, 2 G's in a bus pass, baby. You know, it used to be, of course. You know, it was destined. I feel like it was destined. My whole family sings. Everyone in my circle sings. It's like I just couldn't get away from it. I'm always gonna sing.
Where did your personality come from? Are you always this crazy?
Yes.
Yes. Crazy.
Right? I woke up like this.
Okay.
And went to sleep like it too.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And we have a full house tonight. My co-host, Leslie.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay, yay, yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get out to the forest and discover the wonders of nature with your family, just like Blue, Jewel, and the whole Rio flock.
Let the kids connect to their roots. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Let's rock this jungle.
Woo!
Fresh air.
What a glorious morning.
Clean water.
Woohoo! This is great.
And endless surprises.
Yo, this is untapped territory.
How amazing.
Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to
this.
do is turn onto Marcy Avenue.
Just broke up
and go past the first 3 lights and then take the next left.
I don't really
then
think
drive
she's
5 more
happy,
blocks
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see you
I heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat, and apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And we're back. We're gonna continue our conversation. We left off talking about the hood of the car being too hot, right? So Mastermind here suggested the trunk. Now, you can't do that with like a Versa or because there's no trunk area. You can lean against the car, but there's no like actual trunk. I think you should just go forget the trunk, forget the hood, lean against the car itself. Because honestly, he should be able to do, we'll just use a ballet term, he should be able to do a plie and get down up under there and handle things. Or you turn around, he just lift your legs up. And he should have enough upper body strength to manage the woman he's fucking. Ladies.
Unless he likes them real big.
Huh?
Unless he likes them real big.
Even still, you like them real big, you need to work out. Them ladies like to be handled just as much as little girls do. Little girls. Slim girls do. I don't mean like little girls. I'm just saying. So, I definitely think you need to be hitting them weights, you know. Be ready. You know you got a big girl.
I believe that every man should be able to pick his woman up. I think that every man should be able to pick his woman up.
I agree. Wasn't there like an old school thing about men carrying their women across the threshold? Right? Wasn't that a big deal? I mean, I know it was kind of played out as old school. It's one of those.
Carrying across the threshold. Except I'm not holding it like this. I'm throwing it over my shoulder.
Yo, you gonna do it caveman style,
exactly.
like ha!
Bust her upside the head at the end
with
of the
with a club and throw over the shoulder.
Throw over my shoulder. I'm
That's
gonna wait till
almost
everybody
arcade.
right out front of the door and they can see. I'm but you know what's up.
You know what's
inside
up.
the house.
See, you into
Just
that.
joking.
You into that. You one of them roofie colada type
Nah,
niggas.
I was joking. Let's get that clear. I do not need that to go out into the air.
Okay.
I'm not a roofie colada kind of guy.
I'm just playing. You just want to knocked out until she gets to the bedroom. But then you going to wake up. You got the sniffing salts. Like, wake up. You going to participate in this.
It's not a complete knockout. It's just a knock upside the head. You know, just to let her
I
know.
don't want to be knocked upside the head.
When you disorient, it's like, no, it's not. I was getting too far.
You was thinking it there.
I was getting ready. I was thinking about it as we was bantering. Like,
But you know what? I think I would prefer, because there's something very masculine about a man throwing you over his shoulder versus carrying you like a baby. Like, it's very nurturing to be carried like that. It's very sweet. And if you're getting ready to do soft things and, have sex through a sheet with a little hole in it, then yeah, carrying her like this makes absolute sense. But the idea of like this man with a beard and testosterone flowing and he throw her over his shoulder, like all that. He said, "Nah, y'all."
You look down. You was like, you was thinking about that. Like,
I'm just saying, men should be men. Like.
Wasn't we talking about that?
Huh?
Wasn't we talking about?
We were talking about that. Like, men should be men. You want these women to melt and wet the bed so bad y'all gotta sleep on the floor? Do that masculine shit. I'm not saying you gotta, like, hit her in the head with a club, but I do think that some assertion of your power is a turn on for most women. Just like men like, women to be aggressive sometimes. Like, I think that's also a turn on. I needed a sip. Because that one got everybody in here bothered. So, we got way off. We were talking about a car. Outdoors. We were talking about sex outdoors. Back on the subject. So, sex on the beach, doggy style. Sex in the grass. What do you think about that? I mean, everybody gonna be itchy afterwards because grass makes you itch. Huh?
Not necessary.
But grass is so soft. It's like, especially a good lawn.
You gotta have a barrier between you and the grass. You can't just be in the grass.
You can just be in the grass.
No.
Why?
Just for the sheer fact is everybody gonna be.
Then we go into aftercare. You take a shower together. All that good stuff.
That makes sense.
So you think we need a barrier, like some sort of blanket, a towel? What if you just riding up a road? You see this beautiful field. He takes his shirt off, and you see that's that masculine shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, lay this down. It's about to go down.
Knees, so you don't get all itchy legs. Your knees and your calves can be on the shirt, and your feet can be in the grass, and your hands can be in the grass, or your elbows, depending
on. So Mike says standing doggy style in the grass. Standing doggy style? So
that's basically her bending over.
He's standing in the grass. She is doggy style.
Oh. Well, that's just dog. That's like the same thing as having sex on the beach. Right? Because you're just trying to keep the elements off the particular areas, right? But then that's no fun because you might as well have sex on the beach. We got to make every outdoor experience its own experience.
Yeah, that's why you just go ahead and do it and throw caution.
It's spontaneous, right? Just throw caution to the wind. But if it's the sand,
no,
because sand
is a whole different.
That's a whole different ballgame. Yeah. It takes what's the word I'm looking for? Preparation. It takes an experienced lover to have sex in the sand. You know, so beach sex is not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, I know it sounds sexy, waves crashing, all that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Wait till that sand get up in that.
Yeah, and make sure that you're not in the water.
Why not in the water?
That, you know that little space when the water crashes onto the beach? That little area right there, that's like a no-fly zone. Because that is like sand water.
It is like sandy water.
It is sand water. So just imagine how you feel about the sand. But
then it come crashing on you.
Up in there and it's going to introduce itself.
I was just thinking, like, I wouldn't want the salt water all up in my face. Like, I can't breathe. I'm, like, gagging. I mean, I know every woman likes to choke a little bit, but you don't want to drown while you having sex.
You never know. You might like that. That's like autoerotic asphyxiation with water.
Yeah, but ever since what's our boy from the movie died from autoerotic asphyxiation? Come on now. He walked the earth. Kane walked the earth. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
David Carradine.
David Carradine died from...
Yeah, he did die from autoerotic asphyxiation.
Getting too fucking nasty.
But wasn't he by himself? That makes it a little worse.
Like the guy with the condom.
Doing the stranger.
Doing the stranger. Right.
His name is officially the stranger.
So, we got... Alright, so we got through sand, grass, what's next? We got through the parking lot. What about picnic table?
Picnic table is kind of self-explanatory.
I don't know, because a picnic table isn't really particularly comfortable to lay on, but I think it's definitely a missionary style situation.
It could be a reverse. You could do a reverse cowgirl missionary.
You could do a reverse cowgirl.
You can do straight up doggy style.
I mean, doggy style is pretty versatile. It pretty much works anywhere.
Everywhere. That works everywhere.
And like doggy style, but doggy style doesn't work inside the car unless there's a window open. Because somebody got to stick their head out the window.
Not necessarily. Sometimes somebody's face getting pushed in the damn cushion.
Oh. Auto asphyxiation.
You can breathe. You
Barely.
Can breathe.
Not if you got leather.
That's enough. You can breathe just enough.
Just enough to stay alive.
Yep. You breathing down there?
If you're doing missionary, I think missionary works better in the front seat with the sunroof. What's your thoughts? Because then the guy can come up out the sunroof and you can be...
Girl come up out the sunroof.
Huh?
Inside the car.
So Goldie says, open the door.
It's the vehicle. And opening the door is exactly what the hell you do.
You open the door.
You open that door and stand and deliver.
Stand and deliver. So, I mean, we have the fetishes about being caught. Is that the only reason why people have sex outside?
Some people don't be having nowhere else to go.
True. Like, you live up with your mama, and mama ain't having it.
For whatever reason, you know.
Or just the side chick, can't take her home. Don't have hotel money. But y'all still had a fabulous date. Y'all went Dutch. Everybody mentally stimulated, you know?
Totally.
Absolutely. So you just... Or you can't wait. I think that's one. You know how you might have went to dinner, 50 miles from here. You can't wait to get home. So y'all pull over on the side of the highway and hopefully don't get killed. That's when you need to get those, what are they called? The caution triangles.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the truckers have.
Only thing about that is you put them out, somebody might pull over to try to help you.
Well, then it becomes a threesome.
Ew.
Even better.
I don't know about that.
Real stranger involved.
Because if Buck show up and be like, you look like you need some help.
My name is Buck, and I'm here.
I got this truck here, and best believe it's fast. I can pick you up.
Oh, man. So, we're going to stay away from the sides of the highway because it's just too dangerous. You could put on the road worker outfits, though. Would work, right? I don't know. So, I mean, it's an idea.
But you could get mistaken for prisoners.
Well, it still won't matter.
With the little flag. Like going up and down. You might distract drivers on the side of the road. They'll be like, is they telling me switch lanes? Is that a bridge? What's going on?
That's funny. No, I definitely think the spontaneous arousal thing, you know, because it's always fun to play on the way home. See, your whole foreplay can happen in the car. So, you know, you just slide through the door, you know, and that's the end of it. So, you know, so what did we talk about tonight? We talked about the 5 F's to give in a relationship, right? So we started with family. We went to friendship. There's finance, food, and, you know, the best part, fucking. So I definitely think all of you guys hopefully took a note or two or feel slightly enlightened. Because, you know, that's what we did. I can't with them. With him. That one over there. I can feel what he's saying through the glass. Oh, man. All right, guys. So let's call it a night. Let's start wrapping it up. So thank you for joining me for Salacious Life. I thought we were done. No?
One segment.
Oh. Well, since I have more time, we'll go on a break.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with, you know, some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also, you know, accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. Like,
yes.
I've learned, man, I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
The pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary, and when you got kids and when you got a wife, and then you doing everything, and you know you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place you like with this radio show. You ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah, make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
That is a nice commercial.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on Be Exposed
What you say
Radio.
about Kanye? He can't do no wrong in my eyes. He's the best producer ever, and I support him.
Whoa,
2020, he got my vote, basically.
too.
But Jay-Z and
running for
Kanye
president.
West supposedly isn't talking anymore because Kim Kardashian got robbed, allegedly, over there in Paris, and he felt like Jay-Z, his right-hand man, should have been the one coming to the house. Yeah, what's up? Is everything okay?
But they was in France.
That's what they said.
That meant Jay-Z was like in New York.
And they took like $1 from her. I mean, come on, man.
She ain't gonna miss that money.
Just saying, it was $1.
To them. But
now, see that type
that's a friendship that I don't want to just, disperse. I want that to last because I love Watch the Throne. Jay-Z was on Kanye West's songs. Kanye West produced for Jay-Z. So let me know.
Come on, that's crazy. I mean, think about it. I mean, that's kind of childish to like. I'm sure Jay-Z and say, "Oh, I don't care if he got robbed or not." I mean, come on, I mean.
But at the same time, CJ, if you consider somebody your really close friend, where as though like y'all can chill outside of work or y'all just do everything together, and your wife gets robbed, regardless if some people call it a publicity, y'all know what I'm trying to say.
Stunt.
Yeah,
but wait a minute, they didn't even attend that wedding. So they can't be that much of friends.
Well, from what I heard, Beyonce don't like her.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Right,
She don't like Kim Kardashian.
Right, and not only that, Blue Ivy and North supposedly never even met. Like, they never even, so was they, you ever think they was ever really friends before? Or what? Like,
Well, I think both of the children are named funny anyway. So
them people are millionaires. They can name their babies microphones.
Blue Ivy, Southwest.
But listen, they going in two different directions, and everybody on their own journey. Everybody not meant to travel with you on your journey.
Right.
So it's okay. You just wish everybody well and keep moving.
I'm back. All right, guys. So let's officially close it out for the night. Let's shut down Hump Day so y'all can go get to it. Y'all got another hour so we can do this properly. So we talked about family, food, finance, friendship, and fucking. Y'all got that? Family, food, finance, friendship, and fucking. So those are the subjects of Keontae Conversations a few weeks ago, and I was asked to explore those a little bit tonight, so I did. Next week we will talk about manifesting. I'll leave it there. So, what? You've never learned how to manifest the things you want? Yeah. So next week we'll talk about manifesting. So y'all think about that. And thank you for tuning in to Salacious Life with Dr. Wren on BeExposedRadio.com. And don't forget, live life, be brave, and live unapologetically. Y'all have a good night. I'm out.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com.